Okay, we're gonna call a meeting to order. Welcome to the select board meeting of September 6th, 2011. Roll call, all in attendance. Joe, join me in the pledge of allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of minutes are August 16th.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented to us for August 16th.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Now. Okay. Approval of minutes for August 24th, 2011.
I move that we approve the minutes for August 24th as presented to us.
Second.
Was this meeting,
That was your meeting at the fire station to review with Mr. Oliva.
you want to do it?
Yes, I was not there.
So he can't second.
I'll need a different second. Yeah, I don't know the vote. Discussion? All in favor?
Abstained.
Abstained. Joe abstained. Keith?
Yep, I got it, thank you.
Board of Selectmen minutes, August 31st, 2001. All were in attendance.
Right, I will also move that we accept that as presented to us.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Review and sign special town meeting warrant.
If I may, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I'd like to make a recommendation to you folks this evening to postpone this until your next business meeting of the 20th. The reason for the postponement is that late today, we received a petition warrant article for an ordinance on recall of a municipal and elected and appointed officials. The town clerk is now in the process of certifying the signatures, and I would also make a strong recommendation that we provide a copy of the ordinance over to the town attorney for review and opinion based on its legalities. We can have that wrapped up prior to your business meeting on the 20th, and it would provide you still within the provisions of the 45-day process to meet a November 8th referendum ballot if so desired. And I believe you've seen, we can provide a copy to you if you'd like to at some point. We got it late, as I said today. And then if there's any additional information based on the draft of the warrant that you have in front of you, I know the warrant has changed slightly. You have the ordinance provisions that are there, as well as we added another article for the acceptance of Dobson Road, which is off of Route 9 and Old Pine Hill North. So those are the additions to that warrant, and we give you an opportunity to take a look at all those documents prior to signing that warrant.
I
I move we table, the special town meeting warrant of November 8, 2011 to a special, date September 20th, 2011.
Second.
Any discussion?
No, you cannot discuss the table.
Oh, I haven't had, I had a motion and a second.
You can't discuss table, it's not the wrong vote.
I mean, if
Call
you
John Martin.
just table, it's all she's.
Oh, just table, okay, okay. All in favor? Did you? Yeah. Public comment, 15 minutes. Keep track of your comment, Keith. Mr. Curry.
You want us at the podium?
Yes, please.
I just have a quick comment about something that the town voted on a couple of years ago, the building code. I guess it's too late to get things on the warrant over November, so I guess it would have to be something done in May, but, back in, 2010, November, actually, it was only a year ago, special warrant when the building code was passed. There was a clause in there about put in place for 20 months prior to the mandatory establishment through state law, building and any code, which are rules to oversee construction activities in Berwick. With the uncertainty of the state code ever becoming effective, basically this language here is gonna sunset the building code that the town people voted, 1,203 to 962. And I'd like to see, actually, I'd like to see if possible on this one, that the language would be, it'd be put out there for vote again without the sunset clause. And if not, then on May, because this will sunset July 1st, 2012, if not. And after having approved the building code, I don't think we want it to expire already.
So was the warrant article you just stated?
The warrant article was November 2nd last year, and it was Article 7.
Can you explain that?
Excuse me.
Can you explain what that all entails, what the whole?
Well, last year there,
Yeah.
there was Article 7, which was to vote the following question, shall the documents entitled Berwick Uniform Building Code and any code is approved. Approval would put in place for 20 months prior to mandatory establishment, July 1st, 2012, through state law, building and energy code, which are rules to oversee construction activities in Berwick. I think the language was done like that because of the anticipation was that on July 1st of 2012, the state would adopt it. But that's uncertain at this point in time. But we have a clause that said after 20 months, which from the date this was voted on would have been July 1st,
So this is
2012.
the energy code type,
Energy and building code,
okay.
the International Building Code, which we approved a year ago. It's gonna sunset next July unless something else is done.
And Peter, didn't we adopt exactly what the state was going to put
Yes.
in, and now it's all watered down and,
Well, the state stuff is, but
Yeah,
we
that's
still
what I
have the
mean.
right until the state, from what I understood talking to Jim Webster and stuff, we had the right to adopt a building code
right,
until the state did, at which time we mandated to take the state code.
right,
But what we did at that point in time was took, what this was covering at that point in time was the code that the state was proposing at that point in time.
that's right.
The benefits of that would be just basically the energy,
No, it was all construction,
all construction?
new, used, existing, repairs, maintenance, everything. It was a complete set of codes that the state was adopting.
And that's typical of the state, they're behind the times considerably. They've promised us to determine the proper ballot machine, and that hasn't come to the head yet. That's a typical follow through.
Now, that isn't really too late, is it? We could revisit that for the ballot in November, right?
I don't know why not, we're gonna,
Oh, we can still do it.
we're gonna put
We can still do
one
it, May
on.
too. Maybe, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's gonna do it, May.
Peter, when is it going to expire? What date, Peter?
July 1st, 2012.
So even if we can't hit November, we could put it in
Right.
May.
Right. That way we'll know better what the state's doing.
Right.
A sunset is usually put in place so that at a date certain, we can take another look at it, see how it's working. And I think that this is probably up to the planning board on this building, it's the board's building code.
Yep.
Well, I think we should have it brought in before us and put it on the agenda and see how it's working, and that's what a sunset is for, so you can take a second look at it and see if you need to change it and see how it's working.
That's all the more reason to do it in November.
But it's not for a vote, it's this board should be looking
I
at it and
understand.
making recommendations.
We could go on.
Oh, this November you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine, I don't care about that, but I mean, no, what a sunset is for is to take a look at it, it's not just to put it out to vote again. It's so that we can look at it and discuss it and see if it's working, maybe it isn't working, maybe we wanna add to it, whatever. So I make a
Well, it's
motion to
gonna
put it
be-
on the agenda for
That's gonna be altered considerably by the state. It's not something that they have bought into 100%, the international code, and they've played a considerable number of games with it.
And I understand that, but I don't know about you, but I have not read that code. I would like to have a copy of it so that we can read it and discuss it at a meeting. That's what a sunset is for, so that you can make sure you come back to
The
it.
sunset is designed
To make sure you come back and look at it after a certain length of time.
but it expires.
That's right. But even in the legislature, when we sunset something, so we would come back at a certain length of time
Oh,
and
that's
look
the
at it
option
again.
you have.
And that's what I think we should do.
What was the motion you made, Valerie?
I made a motion that we put it on an agenda and have a copy of it so that we can look at it and see if it's working. And it probably is, but I didn't.
Second.
You know, there's,
Four big books.
Yeah, it's about probably 10,000 pages.
Right.
Now, there must be a summary of it somewhere.
No, actually, Jim was given a portion of 4 of the different building codes.
And I'm sure that whole 10,000 pages doesn't apply to Little Berwick.
It all
It does?
Okay, I have a motion,
But I do think we should discuss
and a
it.
second to put it on, I guess, the next agenda or the next one, if possible.
Well, we gotta do it soon if we're gonna put it on November ballot.
Next meeting, if we can give it ample discussion by then.
Your next business meeting would be the 20th, that would be the time when you would be acting on the warrant. So, I know you haven't voted yet, I guess I'll wait until after you vote, provide some additional discussion on it.
But that will still be
We
timed.
could put the discussion before we vote.
Well, it's not gonna impact your vote, I don't believe, but if you'd like, I can. I guess my only, it's more logistics than anything else. Based on this, you wanted to look at it in the next meeting, you also want to put it on your warrant. So it'd be my assumption that you also wanted to be added to your warrant, so we eliminate the sunset provision within the article that was passed on November 2010, is that how I understand it?
my feeling is we should extend it for a year from the sunset date. And hopefully the state will come up with something.
Can we enforce it and imply it on our building codes at this time? If
Sure.
we,
So,
okay, well,
it's already
only-
passed, yeah, it's
The only
been
building
passed.
codes we have are the ones that have been enacted through the state.
That's
Those
the
are the only
international
codes we
code. I think what would satisfy you all is perhaps if we had the building inspector, or code enforcement, I should say, come and discuss that with the board to give you. that synopsis.
Well, I'd go
But
along,
if you try to read that whole
oh,
building,
no,
it's ridiculous, you know.
but you gotta read it before you make it, well, you gotta pass it before you do it, isn't it? That's what Pelosi said, remember that? So we gotta pass it first, but anyway, I would go along with extending it for a year. And then have it be, isn't there a record somewhere of any of our ordinances or codes or something that's gonna sunset, so that we know when they're gonna come up ahead of time, the sunsetting?
Not locally, no, this would be this is the only one that I can recall that we have.
That is sunsetting, because we should keep an accurate record of that, and then we've got plenty of time ahead. Because sunset means, just take another look at it, that's all it means, really. And see, and see if you wanna keep it or throw it out, or whatever you wanna do with it.
Well, in this case, the only reason we sunsetted that date was when it was officially supposed to be enacted for a population of our size. Now, as Mr. Perry has indicated to you, that there's a lot of discussion in the legislature about doing away with the code altogether. So, if you extend it, yes, so if you extend it, I think you're just allowing the legislature to finish its process, and
Well, that may be.
Well, it's automatic. Once, if we extend it for a year, in the original motion was, as soon as the state passed whatever they're gonna pass, then our version would be adopted, or the state version would be adopted. So,
Would have been had in front of us.
Yeah, whatever.
Read it, and read it,
yeah,
read the article.
whenever,
Or maybe we should, withdraw your second, and I'll withdraw my motion, and we do a motion to extend it for a year. And what you, and you make the, you make the motion, what you just said.
make a motion to extend the sunset clause for 1 year. It would, again, fall back on the original motion, which said that if the state comes across and passes a building code or accepts the international code, whatever they come up with, our international code would be thrown out and the state code would be the one that would govern.
I'll second that.
I rescind my second.
And I just rescinded my,
Mr. Perry, is that how that article reads? You have to find out. I believe that it coincides with the state.
Excuse me. I didn't mean to take up so much time with this.
No, it's fine.
Figured-
oh, no, it's a good idea.
I'm very strong proponent of building codes. Article 7, November 2nd, 2010. To vote on the following question. Shall an ordinance entitled Berwick Uniform Building and Energy Code be approved? Approval would put in place for 20 months prior to mandatory establishment, July 1st, 2012, through state law, a building and energy code which are rules to oversee construction activities in Berwick.
See, that's basically what it said. Once the state makes up its mind what it's gonna do, if it ever does anything, then whatever we have done is thrown out and we have to accept the state.
The only question I have now
I'm not
is,
sure if it reads that way, though.
if everybody,
Well,
if I
I'll
want
read the
to,
comment that was presented to the public at the time. Explanation. In the second regular session of the 123rd Legislature, a law was passed which establishes a Maine Uniform Building and Energy Code. The code was created using existing codes, which are referenced by law. Berwick is not required to enact a code by Maine law until July 1st, 2012. If you approve Article 2nd, means that we will enact the Maine Uniform Building and Energy Code early for the town of Berwick, and our local Berwick code will sunset July 1st, 2012.
now, if a contractor comes in and asks for a copy of the building code, do you give him 10,000 pages?
Yes.
Whoever.
He has to
You're
follow
welcome
the
to buy it.
international code.
Hopefully.
He has to follow the international
But
code.
is it, but would you do it
It's
in
available.
10,000 pages?
You know,
Well, so it has to be,
10,000.
summarized in some form.
No, because a contractor's gonna